How much could you learn about Roblox scripting in 7 days? Is Roblox scripting really that hard? And most importantly, is it a thing that you should learn to do? So, day 1 was spent watching a lot of YouTube tutorials and videos on the basics of Roblox Studio. This involved things such as data types, functions, variables, and loops. I will show some of the tutorials I watched now. After learning the basics of Roblox Studio, I went on to learn functions, which applied a lot of the things I learned from them tutorials all together. See right there, that was my first bit of code that I did on my own, and I was pretty happy with it. And after doing that, I went and played around with the code to make it do some other things. So I wasn't just copying from a tutorial, and I was actually learning. What the hell? Next, I then went to learn my very first event on Roblox, which was the .touched event, and I used it to make a script that was also pretty interesting. In this script, it would output the part of the player that had touched the brick. It's better to just show you, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I then tried to make a button on the game, but it didn't work. I got frustrated and tired and I stopped trying. But yeah, that basically wraps it all up for day 1.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
To learn what the function get children meant, I started off watching a tutorial and then I just started practicing it. However, get children isn't the only one I needed to know. There is also find first child, wait for child, and find first child of class, which is a lot to know, so I do come back to it later on. Some of these simple scripts I created involved a speed pad, which increased or decreased the speed of the player. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up day 3. So honestly, day 4 was probably my worst day. I did barely any coding and I just kind of messed around with something that I thought that I needed to learn, but in actual fact I could have spent my time more wisely doing something else. On this day I spent it trying to learn how to make a sword for some reason. I don't know why. I guess at the time it sounded cool, but you know, it was a waste of time really. But as you can see right now, the sword didn't work, and in actual fact it was a pretty simple mistake I made, but at the time I just couldn't figure it out. So yeah, I ended up leaving day 4 only doing this. So yeah, that practically wraps up my day 4. And yeah, that's basically it. That was my challenge to code almost every day for an entire week, which I've done. You can probably tell it wasn't my first time coding because I did pick up on things quite easily. That's because I have had experience with Python, which is a totally separate language, but you know, it can kind of help that the skills kind of transfer over. This video took too long to make. I started recording this 5 weeks ago. Yeah. Also, this is my face reveal. Hi, this is what I look like. I thought I may as well get it out while I'm still a small channel, you know? Yeah. Yeah, and I am following a script right now, so yeah.